So hi folks, it's Brian Fairbrother. I'm the handicap chairman at Denton, and I'm going to be talking about one of the second changes to the World Handicap System, and it's to do with 4-ball better ball scoring. So what's going to happen is in future, when players play in a 4-ball better ball competition, the scores may count towards their handicap record. And we say the may word. So the first thing is obviously it's going to be in a competition. And the second one is there's a criteria. And the first criteria is there's a minimum threshold of 42 points. The second thresholds are that a player must have scored on at least 9 of the holes. So we're looking now at a player who scored at least nine of the holes, and the team score is at least 42 points. Now, what will happen is obviously a player holes out on the first hole at Denton. They don't get a shot, so it's a par 5, and they get 2 points. Now their playing partner may at this point have a shot on that hole, and they luckily hole out, and they actually get a 5 for 3 points. So that person's score goes down on the scorecard. Now the other person's score will go down that they didn't score on that hole. And this is quite important. Now, obviously at Denton, we use a Club V1 system, and what happens is when you are inputting your scores onto the system for better balls, you actually put in the player's score, and it then automatic defaults the next one to a no score. So what happens then? The software then analyses the card, and what it does is it looks at a player's score for each of the holes where they've actually gone down as the scoring person on that card, and basically it allocates against any blanks they've got a score of 1.5 points. Now, this is purely for handicap purposes. It is not for the competition purposes. What happens then is the scores for the players are added up, and then it goes in the handicap record, assuming they've met this criteria of the 9 scores minimum that they've holed out on, with the threshold of 42 points. So that's how it's going to work. People have said, well, what happens if both players are holing out for the same figure? Well, as we know in better balls, you normally carry on proceeding. If you can only better that score, we don't expect to see people in a better ball competition still carrying on holing out just for, quote, their own purposes. And that leads to the next point. An analysis of scores in open competitions from last year has proven that players have actually been entering a score on MyEG as a general play score when they've actually played in an open competition 4-ball better ball that day. And why is that analysis easy? Well, because it comes up on the records of that particular club within their PCC calculation. This must stop. You must never do this in future. If you have been doing it, okay, but this must stop. If you do play in a better ball, and then there's a general play score put against as well that you've put in, you'll have 2 scores on that day, and it will be classed as handicap manipulation. So you've got to be really careful, folks, that you don't do that when you're playing either at Denton in one of Denton's 4-ball better ball competitions, or actually when you are playing in an away competition. So that's it, folks. That's the 4-ball scoring. No doubt there's going to be quite a few queries over this. However, it is a step in the right direction. It seems to be a step that players have asked for. And yes, what will happen is we'll either get software records, or in the case of 4-balls that for some reason the organisers are not using software for the inputs, well, in which case then we'll get the cards sent to us, and I will personally be manually entering those scores into the system for that day. So there you go. Good golfing for next year, and I hope it gives you an understanding of how the 4-ball better ball scoring is going to affect handicaps. See you, folks.